So Piotr, welcome to the Met Archives. There's so much stuff down here that I think you'll be interested in.
I'm so impressed.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the invitation. That's amazing.
You're welcome. We pulled out a few things that we thought are relevant and interesting to you. The oldest costume we have in the Met Archives is a costume of Jean Dureska, who was a Polish tenor.
Yes. He was the king of the tenors here,
Yes.
many years.
For 10
He sung,
years.
I think, the biggest repertory of all, because I wrote somewhere that he did in his last season 11 roles in Metropolitan Opera, include 5 Wagners.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Wagner and Gounod
at the same time.
Everything.
Yeah.
It was amazing that he. So
Wow.
This is the only.
It looks like
costume we have
Romeo.
of him. This was Otello.
Othello.
He sang Otello twice.
Wow.
Here, just twice, which is I think why the costume's in such good shape.
Yeah, it's really fantastic shape. You know, see, a lot of space.
Yeah, they gave him nothing tight around the neck.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Oh,
And that's the dagger.
it looks so original.
Like a
Wow.
real dagger from Italy.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And
I love it.
So he was your first, the first famous Polish singer here.
Yeah.
Not the first famous Polish singer, the first famous Polish tenor. But another famous Polish singer of the time was Marcela Sembrich.
Sembrich Kochańska,
And she was Mimi to Caruso's Rodolfo. His first Rodolfo
First role, yeah.
here. And this is Caruso's costume.
He was a slim man.
Well,
Okay, I know.
not as slim as you.
Well-
but you know, the one thing that's not quite right here is these. He was shorter than this.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
pants actually, you can see here.
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
picture,
It's way
pants
up.
came
You
way
know,
up, So he
the
was quite
shape is
short,
really.
in fact.
Yeah.
But he was of course, an amazing.
And it was open.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah, that
you
makes
know?
a little bit different. Anyway, but
It's
we'd have a lot
wonderful.
of his costumes, but this is his Rodolfo costume.
Wonderful, just wonderful.
And right behind you is we have these statues. This is Dureska,
Yeah.
who, as you probably know, was kind of a romantic. He was a handsome man, and the ladies all swooned over him.
He was very elegant, you know. Also, I have a story. I read a story about that. That was one rehearsal on the stage of Metropolitan Opera, where he wrote, the ladies wasn't there. It means the gentlemen could keep the hats on.
Oh yes.
You rehearse with the hats on, and probably in frack or something. It's just brilliant.
So that's another day in time, obviously. But he was quite the idol of the ladies at the time. And then
This Wagnerian.
This is Siegfried.
Yeah.
And this is actually a copy of a statue that's at the Paris Opera. But his fans here wanted to have one at the Met as well. And then, of course, we have lots of memorabilia of Caruso.
Yeah.
Caruso.
I can't imagine.
This is him in Forza.
With a mustache.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I think did somebody tell me that you heard a recording of Dureska?
Yeah, I was really looking for it because somebody told me there is 5 Mapleson cylinders recorded with his singing, and somebody overplayed it for vinyl.
I put it onto vinyl.
There is somewhere I was finding 2 of it.
Yeah.
There is a from L'Africaine.
Yes.
A small piece of the aria, and something different, but the quality is so bad.
It's so bad you can barely hear
it. Actually, I was remastered a little bit. It was already remastered, but on computer you can do some things, but it's still very. You can actually hear nothing. It's very little.
Yeah.
You have to use your imagination.
Yeah, you do a lot. I mean,
he recorded a CD, but he destroyed after the. He hear it.
And nobody's ever found it.
No.
I found some articles in the archives where people think they had found it in Paris, but I guess
no, he destroyed it by himself.
Yeah.
Because you hear it on a. They make it on a wax.
A wax cylinder,
wax
yeah.
cylinder. When you destroy it, it's destroyed.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah.
We'd love to know what a Siegfried who could also sing Romeo.
Just something, something in some quality will be nice to give some example of the sound from the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
My dream is to record some arias in the conditions from 1910.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked already with people in Berlin when I recorded my last CD with
Yes.
Deutsche Grammophon. They found some micros from the time, and maybe we'll find the time to do this.
So you could compare your recording now to recording
how the
then
voice, how the natural voice, from now,
right,
will sound in this exactly same conditions when Caruso, recorded his CDs.
So you can guess what's missing in their recordings.
How is it different?
Mm-hmm.
How is it different?
Mm-hmm.
How the voice now. Because today we have a very high level technique.
Yeah.
But basically the micros are the same, working on the same way, and but all this technique equipment is completely different.
Yeah. Well, I think they had a big horn, and they stood there and basically screamed into the horn.
What really doesn't change is like in 1920, Caruso stand in front of the recording thing and sung 10 arias in 1 hour. That was.
Yes.
And now we are back to the same thing.
Right.
Now we are for recording the whole CD just 5 days.
Oh,
or
really?
Something,
That's what they ask you to do?
Yeah, we do that something.
Oh,
Oh, well.
Well.
Exciting.
Yeah, it's same thing. Okay, I'm going to show you a few other things.
Wonderful.
One other Polish tenor that I wanted to talk to you a little bit about was Jan Kipura. He sang just 3 seasons here, but he was a movie star as well. These are pictures from his movies.
Yeah. In Italy, they call him tenore cinematografico.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The cinematographic tenor,
As movie tenor.
Yeah.
Because they remember just the big movies, what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Most of those, they are based on the opera story. That's he was a singer, like Mario Lanza a little bit. And but he's very, very famous in Poland.
In Poland, people still remember him.
Yeah, but he lived a lot, most of the time in New York.
Well, I think he had to leave. He left in '38 before the war.
No. Poland. Yes, he has to. Yeah, it was a complicated story.
And he actually did some concerts. This picture is a concert he did in New York in 1940 for Polish refugees.
Yeah.
And
of course.
And so
that's southern Poland costume. That's actually costume of Jonek in Halka. That's Jontek in Halka actually.
Is that a role you've done?
Yeah, we will do it in 2019 in Vienna, in Theater an der Wien.
Oh, really?
A new production from 200 years. It's my 6 years hard work,
To get it done?
Yeah, I put so many things together, and it's wonderful because 200 years of Maniuszko, it's a really great opportunity to present this opera.
But you've done that part already in Poland? You've never done it?
I'm singing the aria for concerts too.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That's great. Yes, no, he did a lot of work here because Poland was, of course, occupied at the time, so it was a lot of free Poland sort of thing.
But he did just a couple of performances here.
He did, I think, 33 performances here, but there are 2 things that were on the radio.
Yeah.
2 broadcasts.
I heard one Rigoletto from 41.
Yes.
Brilliant. Wonderful recording.
Very good top.
Yeah. And Diminuendo.
Yeah. And he, apparently his publicist at the time called him the American Caruso.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was already, in Vienna when he started, because he was, as a young man, he came to Vienna, and he started his career in the Staatsoper with unusual opera, with Wunde der Heliane from Korngold.
Oh.
It is very heavy stuff, Yes. It's actually he should make it, but he did it great. And then Turandot, Cavaradossi with Maria di Rizza. Yeah. It's a big story. And he was really a public relations self-made man.
Yeah.
He knew how to present his personality to the media.
Right.
He was a brilliant man.
Again, a handsome man. So he was he was, good for cinema as well. We of course you're singing Rodolfo here, and we've done lots of bohèmes. We have a number of bohème costumes. So this one happens to be Richard Tucker. It was
very nice scarf.
A nice scarf. You want
very
that?
Nice
you want
scarf,
to take that with you? Maybe use it in the garret.
We just changed this original scarf from the first act after a while.
Really?
By the last performance.
Why was it itchy?
It was completely destroyed.
It was just destroyed.
Yeah. I thought it will break in some points, because it's.
So maybe Rodolfo wasn't that poor.
He left some money from Cuffietta and got a new scarf.
Had enough to get a scarf. Well, we could lend you this one if you need it.
Yeah, it's really nice.
This is Richard Tucker's, and he was of course a famous tenor who sang here. Often this is a statue of him.
Well, always when I come to New York, it's a tradition. I go to Richard Tucker Square, say hello to.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. That's a tradition already.
And our other very famous Rodolfo before your time was Pavarotti, who made his debut here.
And he was on the first TV broadcast.
He was.
With Scott.
In the series we have now, 77, yeah. This is a picture, not quite from his debut, but similar. Did you know him?
I met him just twice. One in Modena. I did the competition of Caruso. I was a student in Poland. And we have a small conversation. He gave me some advice, and but it was from far away. I was on the stage, and he was in the audience. And second time in Zurich when he sang recital.
Yes,
it was maybe 15 years ago. Very, very nice man.
So you heard him sing?
Yeah. Not so much because I was just from the side. It's amazing experience when in Modena when he talked to people without micro, and he also sang a little bit, marking. The voice was amazing, pure. That's what I remember. Now it's already 30 years ago, but I remember that's very, very, very clean. This moment. Yeah. It was anyway fantastic week in Zurich in the time when he sang this recital because. He started the week with recital, Pavarotti on Monday. Tuesday, Placido Domingo sang Pagliacci. Wednesday, Nils Shikov, Hoffman. Then Carreras sang Sly on Thursday. And Friday was, I think, Faust with Araiza. I mean, in 5 days, 5 leading tenors in the world. And I think 3 days later was Lucia with Alfredo Kraus.
Wow.
One of his last performances.
So you heard them all.
Yeah. For me, as a young singer, was amazing opportunity to hear, such amazing tenors.
And what do you think influenced you, particularly for your voice? Which one had the voice that most related to what you?
Actually, what I was looking for when I hear the big tenor stars, when I met or I just hear the recordings, I love the interpretation and the impact when they use the energy in singing. Not particularly technical moments, because all of those singers they have different approach to the technician side of the singing, and I was very busy with my professor to rework all this what I heard and then he heard, and we built our own technician world of singing. But how they managed the performance, that was amazing. When that they are also normal people. I stepped to the first time on Placido when he was warming up in music zimmer in Zurich, for this performance. Okay. Oh, they have to warm up too. Huh? All right.
Yeah. Even Placido Domingo has to warm up.
That's really something that's very special. And I work with Carreras because he sang Sly, the leading character, and I was one of the tenors there on the stage also. And during the rehearsals, we could see and learn how they manage the whole rehearsals.
Yeah.
Also, not only tenors, because in Zurich at that time, of course now that's normal in Metropolitan Opera for me, but in that time in Zurich there was also Gruberova, Leonucci, Juan Pons, Mirella Freni, all these great singers, Giorgio Zancanaro, would I have a great pleasure to sing, on the stage as a very young tenor.
So it's important for a young singer to have contact with the great
Absolutely.
singers.
That's why I appreciate, in opera houses like Metropolitan, they have this young artist program, where they are include somehow in the whole process of making opera, and they have opportunity to sing on the stage also and have a contact with the people. That's very, very important. The access, the own access then to the stage, to the big roles, it's much easier.
Yeah, great. Well, so these are a few things that we have here that are related to.
Is it close?
Yeah, that's right. Well, that could just be that we did that, but no, I think it was close because he probably had some kind of tie there.
Cool. Absolutely brilliant.
Do you? Is Rodolfo one of your favorite roles, or?
It's one of the roles they really. I'm live with, so many years already. My first one was, I think, 2000 or something, in Amsterdam. And, as long as I can keep the high register, I will sing it. It's a really tricky role because, you have to sing a high C. And I'm very honest with that,
Yeah. You always sing the real high C.
Yeah.
Some people don't.
Well,
didn't in
it's
history.
It's the choice. I think
take it down. Yeah.
Today we are more specific. I'm not singing Canio 2 days later or Siegfried.
Like
3 days before.
Yeah.
That's a really issue because I try to keep my repertoire very clear for my voice, and I know this from the history that all those great singers, maybe except Chiepura and Pavarotti because they really was high voices.
Yeah.
They changed the tonality sometimes because they sang at the same time much heavier roles. They are difficult.
Right.
I sang also Lohengrin, this year, and Lohengrin is not high, and I think to understand the process of going down, but it's technical possible to sing it in the right key. Also, when you have heavy stuff in the same time, but you have to be careful, as a singer, as a tenor especially.
Yeah,
that's because it's very delicate voice.
Yeah. And especially for that Bohème high C, everybody waits for that.
Yeah, that's the thing, as everybody says, it's not so important. You make a great performance, a great artist, that's not important. But you can sing beautiful the whole evening. you didn't get the high C.
It doesn't feel
actually
good.
Doesn't feel. The good thing is that in Bohème, the high C is the first act.
Yeah.
You have 2 acts more to do something,
Yeah.
But when you sing Rigoletto, La Donna è mobile is in the last act. When you make this bad, no excuse.
Right,
that's over.
Yeah.
It's really strange, but that's the life of tenors.
Yeah. A high wire act.
Yeah, it's high wire act. Of course, I'm not singing the very heavy repertoire and very high repertoire. I don't know, like Arnoldo and Guillaume Tell, or I sang Sonambula, and that was the highest role for me with Gruberova in Zurich. Wonderful production, and I know what I'm talking about. That is really something special, when you have 15 high Cs in the evening, but it's always the question of the proportions. You can make the voice a little bit lighter, easier, and then is the top easier than that. But in Rodolfo, you need also a really big sound in the third act.
Right.
That's not just something,
It's a big orchestra.
It's big orchestration also. Yeah.
You feel like your voice is getting heavier, darker as you grow
Well,
older?
I can control it.
Yeah.
That's the good thing, that I never make it by accident. I choose my roles very, very carefully and not rapidly from a very light repertory to heavy repertory.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of roles in between, like you're singing Traviata, Rigoletto. Before you sing Otello, you should do something between. Like I'm singing a lot of Ballo e Maschera every season, and that's a very good school for the voice and give you some confidence for this heavy way to the more dramatic repertory. The same thing is in Puccini. When you sing a lot of Bohème, there is a moment when you think about Cavaradossi and other very small roles, you start to make more point on the third act than in the first act. Because the third act of Bohème, it's very close to another Verismo operas, more heavy.
Yeah.
And when you know how to deal with that, it's time for next step. It's really it's tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah. This Wagner adventure, what I did this year with Lohengrin, was really amazing because we prepared well and it was the best conditions around us. Christian Thielemann, Staatskapelle Dresden, Anna Netrebko was Elsa, and really good singers around, and it was brilliant.
I think Lohengrin is the Wagner role that most tenors start with if they're coming from the lighter side.
Yeah, because they think everybody says, Wagner. Lohengrin is actually Italian Wagner. It's more Italian role of all Wagner's roles. It's true because, but it's not maybe directly because Wagner did wrote this opera like that, but it was the most popular opera in the last century, and Caruso sang it in Italian, in Metropolitan, but in a language was Italian. And in French, Georges Steele, many singers sang it in French. Right. It was also a Russian version, and in Poland they sang it in Polish.
Did you ever hear it sung in Polish?
Just the aria. It sounds really strange.
But by the time you came along, they were singing original languages. In Warsaw?
In my time, already everything in original language. Already in 80s. 70s, 80s, everything was the international repertory was sung in original language, but the recordings, and Del Monaco recorded the aria also in Italian, and that's why the people thinking, that sounds really Italian, because nobody sang Tristan in another language. Everything because it's this heavy and very seriously repertory. But Lohengrin is the most popular, I think, from Wagner.
And when they sing it in another language, it sort of changes the music a little bit, don't you think?
I sang Onegin in German and Bertolt Brecht in Czech and German, and the difference is huge because it's not only different, rhythm, vowels, and but the rhythm is changed also. Yes. Actually, the phrasing is different. Yeah. When you hear, I don't know, Rusalka Prince aria in German, it sounds like Lohengrin, and that's very Slavic opera actually. Yes. Yes. And the opposite, when you start Lohengrin in singing in Italian language, it sounds completely different. Yeah. And the very important moments when everybody is waiting for the Taube. In Italian, it's not even a Taube. It's just another word, and not in this place because it's the beginning of the bar. Right. It's changed completely the whole attitude, and I don't know. It's more difficult or easier.
But that's why we do operas in original languages.
It's of course it's for a singer who is singing in his native language. Like Fritz Wunderlich sang almost everything in German. Helga Röswenge sang everything almost in German. Big repertory. Yeah. It sounds for them maybe easier because it's easy to learn. It's the same language all the time. You don't have to modify any vowels but basically it's harder because you have to manage this modification somehow. And when you really feel the original melody of the language, you should make it in original.
Yeah, so you have to change your interpretation to
Yeah,
some
yeah,
degree. Yeah,
absolutely.
as well as your voice production.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's very complicated, especially languages like French, for example, where it's really difficult for singers because there's so many different vowels, not only consonants, but you have 3 or 4 e and all this u. It's very, very difficult to get in some point in the your scala. When you go to the passaggio with some very close e, then you have to work against closing your throat. You know, that's really it's a technical problem.
Or the famous nasal sounds.
Or the famous nasal sounds. For me, as Polish, is easier because we have also en un.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It means it's somehow maybe easier, but well, I have to still to work on that.
But some of your best roles are French roles.
Yeah.
I mean, Manon.
Well, I like that's a big
roles.
part of my repertoire. It's a big part of my and still I keep still the oldest operas in my repertoire. Carmen is coming next year, and that's actually all what is in for my voice. But it's still I'm still singing that.
Werther?
Yeah, many times.
Yeah.
I'm singing Werther 22 years. You can imagine 23 years.
Yeah, that's perfect
already.
voice.
Yeah. I'm doing also in Metropolitan Opera 2019. It's a couple of performances, also a couple of productions of that. It's one of my favorite in a way.
Yeah.
And Manon finally again in Zurich. Because you know, it's fine to learn it, to have a success on a big stage, but most important is to keep it in repertoire and work on it. Because with 5 or 10 performances, you go on some level of understanding, knowledge in the role and style, but actually it starts to be interesting after 10 or 15 performances and 3 different productions. Then you can develop your own point of view and independent of 1 or 2 productions, especially in Europe when you have bad luck. Your role debut will be in some production when it's nothing to do with the original story, and then you have really a big problem. Because
you have to make up a story in your head.
Yeah, it's more difficult than everybody is thinking about.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I'm enjoying a lot, when I'm singing 2 opposite productions of the same opera.
Yeah.
Like I did last season I did a new production of Ballo in Maschera in München, in Bayern, and a month later a very traditional Ballo in Maschera in Vienna. You know that you can really manage this on a very special way now, because modern productions are fine. Even one of my favorite poems, and you can ask Anna too, was in Salzburg. Very modern, from Micheletto. And we had a lot of fun. But this is another story. It's still Bohème, but it's fine, it's very modern, but we can change and come to Metropolitan Opera singing Zeffirelli. And this is amazing,
Yeah.
When the curtain goes up in the second act and people start to applaud, and we're staying there on the edge to the stage, and
that makes you feel good.
It makes me feel just amazing, as a part of this, what I see here around, it's a big history.
Yeah.
I was so happy when I sang first time in Vienna Traviata, and I put the costume.
Yeah.
It was also 30 years old production, and on the back inside you have all these plates with names of the tenors.
Right.
And on the top is the first one.
Yes.
That was Nicolai Gedda singing the opening night.
Yeah.
For me was, and my first Rigoletto here, the costume was, the jacket was from Placido Domingo. It gives you some fantastic feeling, and to be part of this amazing
Some
history.
perspective.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are not coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
We are following really a big story.
A big tradition.
A big tradition.
Yeah, exactly.
I like this one.
Yeah?
What? Okay.
Oops.
Now, you know, we could talk
We could talk for a long time, forever.
forever about that, you know. But I love this.
Yeah.
When I will be singing Othello, may I rent it?
It might be a little fragile.
You can keep the
but
diamonds.
just for you.
You can keep the diamonds and emerald, but no.
You know, he only sang it twice. He only did this role twice, and I'm not sure whether he just didn't feel it was right for his voice.
I think, you know, he was so busy with all this repertoire what he sang. I know a story that for Tristan, he was a pianist. He could learn, you know, by himself in 2 weeks, Tristan, and he spoke German too. But he came for one summer to Poland, to his house, with a pianist, with a German coach, and they worked the whole summer, 2 months, on Tristan.
Yes.
It's so stories like that was really, I don't know, maybe Othello comes in a moment when he got something different to sing and doesn't fit well.
It was actually right at the beginning of his Met career in the early 1890s.
Yeah, that's maybe because it was a little bit soon, you know, because he was a baritone before, a couple of years.
Yeah.
Everybody's thinking, oh, I sang baritone 5 years or 10 years, I am a dramatic tenor. It's not always, it's not a rule. Sometimes you are just a good lyric tenor, and that's enough.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
as a start of the development. And maybe it was a little bit.
We would love to know
soon.
more, but we can't.
Yeah.
We don't have any recordings, as we said earlier, so we don't really know. But it was an amazing career.
You know, in my opinion, you can't sing in the same season or the same period roles like Othello, Tristan, and Romeo, and I don't know, Werther, because
Faust. Yeah.
Faust, it's maybe easier because Faust begins with a prologue, and actually it's possible when you have a technical solution for the high C. It's possible, you know. It's written piano.
Yeah.
To be honest, George Steele, when he sang here Faust, everybody was expecting extraordinary interpretation. It was extraordinary interpretation, but the high C was with voix mix.
Yeah.
And they were very, very upset and disappointed.
Yeah.
It's, well, you can talk around.
But that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, actually. No, I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah.
I tried twice. It is possible, but it never sounds like you wish it could have sounds, you know? I know some colleagues tried too, but I'm more for a good, healthy high C, you know?
Yeah. Well, also you probably feel the audience disappointment when you sing if you don't sing it healthy.
When you do this on recording, you know, that you leave it just for your public at home, you know. But in the direct confrontation on the stage, you always try to be a step ahead, you know, to give some more excitement, more, you know, good. The C is always a little longer than necessary, you know, because the people expect that.
Well, it is theater.
Yes, theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
So it's time to say goodbye.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It was great having you here.
We could talk hours and hours
forever,
about
and
that.
please come back anytime.
Thank you very much. Oh, now I know the place.
Right. Anything else you want to know about Met history, we're happy to try and figure it out for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you, Peter.
All right. Bye-bye.